Hey everyone, welcome back to A Warrior's Garden. Well, I'm still deployed, but that's okay. I still have footage I can show you. A few months before I left, I toyed around with making rope, doing a little bit of bushcraft using yucca fibers. Now I have a plant that grows in my front yard called a Spanish dagger, which is a yucca, but I have a lot of cuttings from it. So this video that you're about to see, I filmed almost not quite a year ago, but nearly. And it was me attempting to make some cordage from yucca fiber. So enjoy. I'm in my front yard and I have these massive yuccas. So I'm going to show those to you right now. Okay, there's one of them. That yucca is out of control, completely out of control. Have not known exactly what to do with it. Did a little research. Figured out I need to trim them, which I'm going to do a different video about that little project, but this is what they should look like. And I trimmed the heck out of that thing, and that gave me a lot of yucca leaves. Well, my thought was, what do I do with those yucca leaves? There's got to be a use for them. Do I compost them? Do I throw them away? What do I do with them? And I found that, you know, there's fantastic fiber in there we can use for cordage. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So in my garage, that's a lot of the trimmings from that yucca I showed you earlier. And this is what I'm going to use to harvest the fiber from. Some of these leaves are too dry, and I'm just going to have to either compost them or chuck them or whatever. But we'll see what I can do with them. But I'm still learning about this stuff. So I'm going to choose the greener ones that I've saved and show you what to do with them. And we'll go into my kitchen and I'll show you how I learned to extract the fiber from them and make a cord and eventually maybe a rope. So here we go. I'm going to go through this, rummage through it, find some of the better leaves and take it into the kitchen. I'll see you guys in there. So here's what I'm going to do. As you can see, I have clipped quite a few of these leaves as I showed earlier from my yucca. As I mentioned, this is a Spanish dagger yucca. And yes, you can harvest the fiber from these leaves. They're a bit delicate compared to other yuccas, but they'll still work. And eventually, it'll look like this. And then I'll dry it and I'll kind of, what do you want to call it? Roll it with my hands to kind of break out the remaining little bits. And then that fiber I'll take and turn it into hopefully a rope or other useful items. But basically this is how it works. If you can see right here, I'm going to start with the leaf on the upside down from the bottom side, and I'm going to take a spoon, that spoon right there. And the reason I'm using a spoon and not a knife is I don't want to cut the fibers. This has it's got an edge, it's sharp enough to scrape the meat of the leaf off, but not too sharp where I start cutting the fibers. You are going to lose some fiber. I haven't figured out how to perfect this process yet. I'm just started doing this, but if I figure out a better way, I'll update you on it. So basically this is how it goes. Starting at the base, I'm just going to drag that across the leaf. And as you can see, you get stuff kind of looks like that off there. Right there, you can see the flesh of the leaf coming off. So I'm just going to do the entire back of this thing and work it on my board here. The reason I'm using a board is I don't want to muck up the countertop. So, and I happen to have lots of these redwood boards. The amazing thing as I do this is I realize how much sugar is actually in this leaf, because I can smell it, I can feel it, it's sticky. But I can literally smell the sugar in the air as I do this. So there's a fair amount of sugar in this leaf. Personally, I don't know if it's usable. I don't know if there's a way to harvest that. I haven't looked into that yet. I know you can eat the yucca fruit and the yucca flowers. But I don't know about this part. I know the root is poisonous. You can't use the root except for soap. That you can do. There might be ways to cook the root, but everything I've seen online is about turning it into soap. As you can see if I can hold that up better, you can see the fibers are showing. And in a minute here, once I feel like I got an adequate amount of flesh off this side, I'm trying to get as much as I can. I'll flip it over and I'll do the other side. Now I left the stalk on, the base of the leaf on, and the tip, mainly to help hold it together while I'm doing this. Eventually I'm going to cut the end of the flower, or end of the leaf off. You're probably wondering why I don't go all the way to the base. To be honest, I probably could, but I'd have to pound the hell out of it, the heck out of it, to get that to separate, because it's pretty thick down here. And I've tried to get those fibers out of there, but no luck. But I imagine if I pounded it, like some people recommend. I have actually tried pounding these leaves before off this particular yucca. And unfortunately, I think because it's a more tender succulent, then I think it destroys the fiber, because the ones I pounded, I probably pounded too hard and I didn't get, it was just pretty much mutilated them. When I tried to scrape them, the fibers just came apart and I had balls of fiber rather than long individual fibers. We're almost there. You can see the fibers really separating out. And this is where you got to be a little bit more delicate. If you're not too delicate, you're going to start busting the fiber and you'll get a lot less out of it. So I'm trying to be more delicate. It becomes kind of hard because it's kind of a balancing act between, see, you can see all that fiber I just pulled out. Balancing act between getting the gunk off it. Because if you leave the gunk, the leaf flesh, it sticks it together too much. Also, if you make cordage out of it, and eventually a rope, it actually promotes the rotting because of the sugars. So you want to try and get as much out of this as possible. It's hard not to get aggressive because you want to get that stuff out. But if you get aggressive, then you're going to break fibers. So don't know what to tell you on that, other than I imagine people develop a feel for this. Maybe there's a better technique. I think the Native Americans used a rock, a scraper rock, something to that extent. All right, everybody. I am going to show you how we're going to take these fibers and make them into a cord. As you can see, I have quite a bit of fiber. That isn't even as much as I could have got from everything I clipped from that yucca, but that's all I was willing to work on at the moment. And I learned a few things. The greener the fiber, the easier it is to skin it. Some of them that were dehydrating, I stuck in a vase of water and rehydrated them until they're nice and wet and green on the inside, and they were a lot easier to skin and to get all this fiber out of. So, all right, let's get on with it and I'll show you what we're going to do. What I've done is I've kept one stalk of fiber, one leaf that I have not clipped the back off of. That's mainly to aid me in tying. Eventually I will clip this off and just tie it off. The rest of these, as you can see, I've clipped them off and they're just the fibers. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take, and I divided it in half. This is about the thickness I want to go, and I've divided it into about equal portions. And I'm going to take the inner one closest to me and I'm going to twist it inwards like that. Do a good twist, and then I'm going to bring the outer one inwards and take that one outwards. Now this one I'm going to twist inwards. A good twist on it, and then I'm going to repeat the process like that. Twist inwards bring the outer one inwards, and continue the process. Hard part is get my fat little fingers to do what they're supposed to do. Twist, bring the outwards inwards, twist, etc. Well, y'all are probably wondering what happens once you get to this point where you're to the end. Heck if I know. No, actually I do. I went and looked it up on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. And all you people who do fantastic stuff. So basically, I've got it divided where I was. I was doing my twist and roll. Twist and roll. Twist and roll. Twist and roll. And I've gotten to the point where I'd like to continue this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some more fiber out of this pile of fiber and get about the quantity I want, about the thickness, and I think that's about where I want to be. And I'm going to make sure I got it nice and fibrous. This one's not. Let me find a different group. There we go. We'll go with this one. Nah, we'll go with this one. Oh my gosh. We'll go with this one right here. So I'm going to go with this one. I'm probably going to have to trim the end off it eventually, but basically I'm going to fold it in half and see the V that I have that I was working with. I'm going to fold this in half about the same length and about the same quantity, and I'm going to tuck it right into the V, right about like that. Actually, I'm going to adjust just a little bit. And then I'm going to just kind of mesh it in with each other. It's about like that. Just kind of mesh it in and get them all kind of intertwined. And then I'm going to start doing the twist and roll again. So twist, roll it over. Twist, roll it over. Twist, roll it over. Just like that. And I'll continue to the end of this thing. And if I want to make the cord longer, I'll keep doing that with all this other fiber. But that's probably not going to happen today because I'm getting tired of this. But in a nutshell, that's how you make a lovely yucca cord. Just like that. I hope it was informative. Not sure what I'm going to do with the yucca cord, but I thought it would be cool to know how to do it. Might maybe use it for some jewelry, use it in the garden. I don't know, I might just save it to show that I can do it. But it is what it is, and now we got it. So I hope you enjoyed it. You guys stay safe and have a wonderful day.